If you have goals for yourself, if you just want to reach something for yourself, but you do not know how to detach yourself from other people, well, that goal of yours, that project of yours will only remain a dream. The most important thing you will have to teach yourself to get to where you want to go is your ability to detach yourself. And this is what I will be helping you with today. So welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Eleonora, and let's start. Recognize the difference between the form of a relationship and the content of a relationship. When you are in a relationship with someone and you are so attached into them being in your life, is because you don't recognize that there is a difference between the form and the content. I can love you from afar, but I do not need to allow you into my life if you are holding me back from my purpose. I remember I was listening to a talk one day where this woman was asking a question. She was so heartbroken because she was madly in love with a man and she was in a relationship with that man, but that man suddenly just walked away without even telling her anything, and she did not know how to cope with that. And as she asked her question as to how am I supposed to heal myself, how am I supposed to feel about that, it must be very, very painful for you. And I'm not here to deny that it is a painful experience, but you have to understand that the relationship didn't end, that the form of the relationship ended as this person decided to walk away, but the content remains the same. And even though in this material world you are not able to talk to that person, your soul can still talk to that person. You can still find peace by just having that conversation from soul to soul, forgiving them and knowing that they just are not as evolved in this lifetime, and that is fine. It is your assignment to build strength throughout that relationship. You have to teach yourself how to be strong enough that when someone has decided that they no longer want to be part of your life, you have to accept their choice, and not just accept their choice and be sad, but have some self-respect to walk with your head up and to just like walk away without anger, but also not without trying to hold on to them because they hold the key to something you need, because the truth is they are not that important, and you have the power to not let them hold that space within you by the decision you make with yourself. You have to teach yourself how to have that strength. And even if in the beginning it feels like, yes, but that's not really how I feel, you train yourself to feel that way out of respect for yourself. And the only way you are actually able to do that is by falling in love with the best version of yourself over you actually falling in love with a random person out there. If you just allow any person to come into your life, you are creating entanglements with people, you're creating soul ties with people, and every time you do that, what does that mean? Well, these people, they possess real estate in your mind. That means that even if you want to achieve something in your life, you have decided to allow people randomly to walk into your life because they were good looking, because they knew the people, because they were giving you some attention. Well, now they can pull upon your energy. They can control how you think, how you feel, and this is exactly how you lose your power. Instead of doing so, you actually reflect before you invest. You actually recognize that, hey, I have to make a choice who I am choosing in this lifetime. Am I choosing me? Am I choosing the woman that I know I have the potential to be? Or am I choosing to get other people, random people that will not mean anything 5 years from now to actually have a hold on me? If you allow the wrong people to walk into your life, well, they can hold you back from your purpose. They can hold you back from you becoming the best version of yourself because you didn't reflect before you actually decided to invest. You created a soul tie with people who did not deserve their place there. And now you have to pay the consequences of your wrong thinking. You have to reflect before you invest. You have to understand that every person who comes into your life is never yours. Even if you love them to death, you do not close your hand around them, meaning they have to be mine, but you allow people who enter in your life when you know they're good for you to actually remain on an open hand. If they want to walk away, let them walk away. If they want to remain in your life and if they recognize the value you bring into their life, let them be there. Teach yourself how to love them so unconditionally that you can love them from afar, that you do not need them here. And that's real freedom. When you try to hold someone's freedom, you are imprisoning yourself, because that's what you do when you attach yourself. When you attach yourself, for some reason you think they are yours. But if instead you recognize that real love is about actually holding them with an open hand, they want to be here, they will remain here. If they want to go away, away, they will go away. And this is none of your business what they decide to do, because you love them not because you derive your sense of identity from them, but you love them because you know their soul, and that unconditional love is freeing. Don't fight to make people remain in your life. I was listening to a podcast. It was a couple talking. They were explaining that there was like a collective emotion of competition between other women, especially when she can steal your man, because there is like a power thing around it. And I just was listening to that and thinking to myself, well, not really. Not if you do not allow it. Meaning, if you are in a relationship with someone and there is another person, a third person who can come in that relationship and steal your man, this man was never yours to start with. And you lose your self-respect and your self-worth when you try to fight for that man. But you actually will always remain in high regard if you do not even fight to keep him in your life. Create a version of yourself who is detached. So when you have been in a relationship with someone, when you have given your entire life to someone, loved someone unconditionally, once that relationship ends, it's almost as it was the end of the world, because it feels like it is. And so the only way you get out of it is by actually creating a new identity of a detached version of yourself. Even if right now you do not know what that means and how you're going to do that, you start picturing a version of yourself who is not attached, who is so strong that she can do her own thing. She can be happy by herself. She can make her own money. She can create whatever she wants by herself. And even if right now that identity feels far away from you, simply by creating that image in your mind, you are almost creating a door within your mind where you can escape from that version of you that is very attached, and that is very needy, and that is very sad, and that is very that. Even if right now you do not know how you will get to that new identity, the simple fact of creating that identity within your mind creates an opening for you to shift in another you who is detached, and you fall in love with that new version of yourself in such a way where you actually want to put in the work to get there. Don't judge yourself for your attachment. Your pain does not come from your attachment, but from your resistance towards your attachment. That means if I sit here in this moment and I just came out of a toxic relationship of, let's say, 10 years where I was madly in love, I'm actually like out of control of myself because I still think about this person, feel like I don't have any control over myself. The more I judge that emotion within myself, the more I'm holding myself in bondage with that emotion. If instead I just sit with that emotion and I feel that emotion and I even cry through that emotion, but I do not try to hold that emotion back, well, I am actually freeing myself from that emotion because I'm no longer resisting that emotion. And whatever you resist persists. And so even if it takes you months to stop resisting, you allow that emotion to be there, and you cry through that emotion, and you are sad throughout that emotion, and you allow that emotion to be whatever it needs to be because you trust yourself. You trust in your ability to overcome whatever comes into your way because that is who you are. Thank you so much for watching. I also created a community where we do Q&A calls every week. Everything you need is under the description below. Thank you guys so much